G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. We've got Team List Tuesday for round 23. Had someone sent me a message last week complaining about how at the start of all these podcasts I say the round and then go, wow, how quickly is it going? So I avoided saying it today, but in all seriousness, how quickly is it going?
Did someone actually do that?
Someone actually did that, yeah, shout out to them. But anyway, I think the at was Tim Williams or some wanker. But anyway, good times. We have got Team List Tuesday for round 23, and I'll tell you what, it's a bit of a big one just quietly. From a Supercoach point of view, there's a bit happening. Obviously, the Roosters, they have the bye this week, so a lot of players out there, and there's a few other key guys out. Catmandu, you want to kick us off with your team on Thursday night?
Stuart, I'm actually wearing a little Rabbitohs number right now.
You are a little number.
A little number. We're going to kick the weekend off on Thursday at 7:50 Accor Stadium. Souths taking on Storm.
Good news for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Cody Walker named to return. Hopefully he does in jersey 7. MCK on the edge. Tallis Duncan's still on the bench. I hate this. I don't understand when this season is done and dusted. You know what Jacob Host can do. You know what Cheekham can do. Whatever reason that is holding Tallis Duncan back, I would love for the Rabbitohs to give him an opportunity in these games to either prove them right or prove them wrong. I just don't understand it. Shaq Mitchell also comes onto the bench. Congratulations to him getting back into first grade. For the Melbourne Storm, big one here. Eli Katoa obviously went off with an injury in the game on the weekend. He got strapped, came back on. He's out of this game. So when you think about him from a Supercoach point of view, there's only 5 games left. He's only going to play a maximum of 3 of them, assuming he gets rested against the Cowboys, which we know that that's their plan. So very, very interesting times there. Trent Leroux moves to the edge. Nelson Asafa-Solomona jumps into jersey 13. Friday night footy, Mandu, what do we got?
We're up in the Gold Coast. The Titans taking on the Sharks at Seabus Super Stadium, 5 or 6 p.m. kickoff.
Titans, you've obviously got Clay Haas. He moves to the edge. Bo for more out of this one. I haven't quite heard why that is, or maybe I missed out on something on the weekend, but Bo for more out of this one. That'll hurt a few people out there with him as a pod play. And AJ Brimson on the extended. So if you are a Keanu Keeney kind of guy, which I know there's a few of you out there, you're going to have to keep a very close eye on AJ Brimson. As crazy as it sounds, he did come in to play fullback a couple of weeks ago. Kenny went to the bench. Maybe that's still the plan. Personally, I don't think I could take Keeney out of this side, though. He's been incredible. For the Sharks, obviously, Nico Hines is out. Braden Trindle's got he had a bit of hamstring tightness last week, so they've pulled him. They're going to do what they did against the Melbourne Storm a couple of weeks ago. Blake Brayley jumps into jersey 7, Cam McInnes at 9, and, of course, Jaden Beryl, he comes into the bench in jersey 14. No Mulatalo yet, no Hines yet, no other changes for the Sharkies. Late game, Cat, what do we got?
We've got Combank Stadium. The Eels are taking on the Panthers. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff.
Battle of the West. How good? Bit of a boring one here. Essentially, both are 1-17. Nothing to really touch on. No real changes to these two sides. So, less said the better. That's going to be a good game on Friday night, though. Parramatta going awfully as far as their season goes. Last few weeks, they've been in really, really good form. And as we know, Kat, they always seem to perform against the Panthers. So, interesting watch there. Super Saturday, what do we got?
Well, Super Saturday kicks off with the Raiders versus Manly. Manly heading to Canberra for this one at GAO Stadium. Kickoff at 3 p.m.
For the Raiders, Ethan Strange comes back in, given a little spell by the coach last week, which I really like personally. Cook goes to jersey 14 and Simi Sasagi comes in to jersey 17. Worth noting, Morgan Smithies has been named. Had a pretty bad concussion last week. I personally doubt he will play, but Ricky Stewart's giving him every opportunity to play possible. For the Manly Seagulls, obviously coming off a bye, Tommy Talau, Ruben Garrick in the centres, Lehigh Hopewade, he's on the sting. Lockie Croker in jersey 9, probably my favourite thing to come out of Team List Tuesday. Kat, we've mentioned him I feel like every 2 or 3 weeks on TLT going, I hope everything's sweet here. Played reserve grade last week, I believe, back in the starting side at 9.
Did you see that a lot of the boys went to support him too?
How good's that?
Yeah, so nice.
One of the good guys, Lockie Croker. So great to see him back. Paseka, who's just signed a big deal with the Manly Seagulls, so congratulations to him. Nathan Brown joins him in the front row. The edges, Carl Lawton holds on. Ola Kawatu there as well. Ben Travojevic was in the back row. He's moved back to the bench. He will be joined by Gordon Chan Kum Tong there. So Gordy and Croker will share the 9 role there. Cows, Broncos. Now, shout out to the North Queensland Cowboys. Was just doing Kat's job for her. Apologies for that. They've just posted their team list Tuesday. I think it's an unreal graphic, and they're wearing their Carl Webb jersey this weekend, which I think it's the best Cowboys jersey that's ever been created.
So cool.
Them at Suncorp wearing that. It's going to be great. Who are they playing, Kat, and at what time? Sorry for sneaking in and doing your job.
It's okay. I know you're very excited that they followed you this week as well.
Shout out to them as well. Yeah, I have to get one of those jerseys.
You do. You do. The Cows are just on your mind at the moment. It's okay. So the Cows will be taking on the Broncos up in North Queensland. Kickoff 5:30 p.m.
Really looking forward to this one. Should be an entertaining game for the Cows. Nanai comes back on the edge. Ruben Cotter returns in jersey 13. Worth noting, Tommy Chester on the extended bench. If you get an opportunity, go and have a look at Kempy's post from last night. Tom Chester had probably one of the greatest games by an individual ever seen over the weekend. He ran for 400 metres in Queensland Cup, scored a couple of tries, laid on a few incredible stuff. He must be getting close to getting back into that side. He was the centre a few months ago. For the Brisbane Broncos, Corey Oates dropped out of the side. Karapani jumps onto the wing. Rogers named at 5'8" to replace Ezra Mam. Willison, he starts at prop. Obviously, Payne Haas out of this side now. Piakura, bit of a worry about him injury-wise last week. He starts on the edge. And Tristan Saylor on the bench. A very, very interesting selection there by coach Kevy Walters. Late game, Saturday night. Catmandu, this might be game of the week. I think it is game of the week. What do we got?
It definitely is game of the week. This one is at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. The Dragons are hosting the Doggies. 7:35 p.m. kickoff. I think this is going to be massive.
This is going to be an absolute cracker. That crowd is going to be going wild out there. Yeah. How good. For the Dragons, they are 1-17. No big changes. Worth noting, Jack Bird on the extended, but I don't think you could possibly change any of those Dragons from last week who knocked over the Melbourne Storm. For the Doggies, nothing to really touch on here. All pretty much 1-17. Just worth noting. No shock either, but Josh Curran had an injury during that game last week. He came off, he came back on. He has been named. Outside of that, the Bulldogs, they are running out 1-17. Sunday afternoon, footy. We're back up at Suncorp. What do we got, Kat?
We are. Suncorp Stadium, 2 p.m. kickoff. The Finns to host the Wars.
How good. Finns v Wars. Tavita Pangai Jr. He returned. Well, he's been named to return anyway for the Dolphins. Isako's also in. I'll tell you what, I was standing about 8 metres away from that injury on the weekend. Looked like a train wreck. I thought he'd be out for quite some time, Isako. Just credit to how tough these guys are. For the Wars, RTS, he jumps into centre and Ed Cossey returns. So the young fella drops out of there. Graham Tofua, I believe his name is. So he drops out. RTS at centre, Cossey on the wing. Last game of the week, Kat. What do we got?
Knights v Tigers up at McDonald Jones Stadium. Kickoff at 4:05 p.m.
4:05 p.m. in Newcastle. We absolutely love that. You know what we call that, Kat? Kalen Ponga o'clock.
Oh.
Keep an eye on him. Knights, they are 1-17 off the back of their close defeat last week. No changes to this side. For the West Tigers, Adam Dewey, he returns. Aiden Caesar will wear jersey 7. It should be noted on the bench, we have got Twal and Fanua Bole, who is back into the side as well. Sorry, on the Newcastle Knights, just having a look at their side again. No Jacob Saifiti, obviously got injured in the warm-up last week. He has not been named, so another out there for the Newcastle Knights. Guys, they are your team list Tuesday for round 23. The season, it is winding up rapidly. It's going to be a big finish to the year. Some huge games this weekend. Beers and Break Evens drops tomorrow at 3 p.m. on YouTube and on the podcast. Make sure you are there if you are a Supercoach player. Plenty to touch on. Couple of trades left. I know Timmy's making big plays for the back end of the season. I'm sort of sitting in reverse a little bit at the moment. Going to put some trades up the back pocket and see how we go. Beers and Break Evens tomorrow, 3 p.m. and then the late show just after that.